Hello, welcome to Learning Excel 2013. My name is Mike Henry, and this is the fourth video from Tutorial 7. In this video, we are going to look at garbage prevention rules, or basically data validation rules. This is going to go back to that old saying, garbage in equals garbage out, and we're going to learn how to prevent garbage from coming in. We're going to be using warnings, and we're going to be using stops. These are two different ways that our rules will work. One is to stop someone cold, and one is to warn them that they're doing something that might be okay but might not be okay. So basically we're going to look at some garbage prevention rules. And garbage prevention goes to the old saying, garbage in equals garbage out. And that's what we're going to try to prevent, is garbage coming in, because we don't want garbage on the out. Now in the real world they call these validation rules, and this basically allows us to validate information that's coming into the cells before it can get entered in. And we're going to look at a couple different types of validation rules here. I'm going to do one right here real quick with the date. And basically what we're going to be doing with the date is we're going to be saying that anything before a certain date will be allowed with no problem, but anything after that date would be a late registration, and we might not accept a late registration at that time. Or we might accept a late registration at that time, and what we need to do is have a mechanism that will allow a late registration to be warned and then okayed. So we're going to come here to this cell, the registration date, and up here under data you can see where we have this tab called data validation, and we're going to pick right there the top one, data validation. Now you'll notice that there's three tabs here. Tab number one is the rule. So we need to first make the rule, and right now it says I'll allow anything you want to put in that cell in there, and we're going to change that to say no. We're only willing to accept a date. Okay? And then now it says what do you want to accept, and we're going to accept anything that is less than or equal to a particular date, and we're just going to use January 1st 2010. Okay? So anything before that date we'll accept. Anything after that we're gonna stop it and check something. Now the second tab here is your input message. This gives the end user a little help. Okay, so in this case we're going to put a title on it, so the end user will see a title, and basically we're putting in here that this is going to be the registration date that you're entering, and then in the input message we'll put something in there that helps them, like please enter the date. Okay, I would put something a lot more in there, but this is real quick for the video. Now the last tab is the important one. This says if you break the rule, what am I going to do to you? And basically here we have multiple things that we can do, and in this case we're going to give them a warning. Hey, what you're doing might be inappropriate, but we need to check. And so right here I'm going to give it a title of this is going to be an invalid date has been entered. Okay, invalid date has been entered, and then I'm going to give an error message that the end user will get, and I got something copy pasted that I just put in there real quick. Now let's take a look at this rule. Okay, I put in here January 1st 1985. That's well before the date. Nothing comes up. I'll click back on this, and you can see right there, there's our title saying this is a registration date. Please enter the date. So let's put in here the registration date of January 1st 2015. Now it's saying wait a minute, you are beyond this date. This is an invalid registration date. See where it says invalid date up there? That's what I typed in. Invalid registration date. You've got to check something here. You've put something in that's after this date. And then it says if it's correct, hit yes. Yeah, we'll accept it. But if it's not, hit no, and you can re-enter. Or if you're not sure, hit cancel, and it'll just block out. So I put in here no, and I can go in here and change my date. I didn't mean to put 2015. I actually meant to put 09, and you can see that accepts the information, and I'm off and running. So that is a data validation rule that gives us a warning. Now let's take a look at a data validation rule right here for the age group. These are our valid age groups right here, and those are the only age groups that we're willing to accept. So we're going to block it if someone tries to put in a different age group. And we're also going to give them a little help. So watch what we do here. We put a data validation rule in here, and we come back to first the rule, and we're going to say not any value. We're going to pull it from a list. Okay, and then what we're going to say is the source of our list. This allows us to pick a source that already exists. So my source is going to be right here. And so now it's going to say you can pick from this list. And for our input message, we can put in here age group, because that's the cell we're working here. And the input message would be something like, please pick from the list. And then for the error message, we're going to stop you in your tracks. If you pick the wrong if you put the wrong thing in there, I'm going to stop you and not let you go any further. So that's what a stop versus a warning is. And then we put in here invalid age, and for the error message we'll put in here, please pick from the list. Pick from the list. So now what we can see is when we run this rule, you can see right away, age group, please pick from the list. I have a drop down, and it shows me anything that I can pick. If I pick on this and I move off, I'm off and fine. But if I decide, hey, I want to type in my own, and I'd like to be in the youth 15 group, I want to be in the youth 15 group, and I go off, you can say it says no, this is an invalid age, you must pick from the list. Notice there's not a please accept this, it just retry, which means I go back to here and I now can put in a U4 and I'm off and running because U4 is a valid response. The one last thing you can do with these is I can click on player name, and I don't have to fill in everything because I can leave player name as an any value, but here under title I can put in here player name, and in here I might put in here please enter first name only. Okay. So now when they click on this, it says please enter first name only. So my validation rules are very useful tools here. So in this video we looked at data validation rules, and we saw a couple ways we can use them. The first way we saw is we put a warning in there. We're letting someone know that the data they're entering might have an issue. It might not have an issue, and it gives them the chance to accept or decline that data. The next validation rule, we learned that we can stop dead. Hey, that's incorrect data. We're not even willing to accept it. And we also learned that we can use a list. We saw that we were able to grab information from other cells and make sure it showed up in our list. And lastly, we saw that you don't have to put in all the components of the data validation rule. You could only put in like the input message and title to help an end user, but there is no rule as far as to what they need to do. These really will help your professional career using data validation rules.